So you need power, you need energy. A lot of the conversation over the next 2 days in the agenda that the government has framed is around clean energy and the transition to clean energy. So it's looking further down the track. We're going to be bringing up and raising the issue, as we do every day, around reliable, affordable power being a complete foundation on which our economy has to sit. And if we don't have that, then we are in a world of pain.
Yes, indeed.
And a lot of industry will have to shut down and close. So the answer to your question, in short, is tomorrow is a bit, but not enough.
No, I don't think Chris Bowen understands any of this. I mean, it's ideologically driven, and the consequences and costs are not being spelled out. See, people listening to you and me now are facing petrol prices come September, going up by to end of September, 28, I think it is, by 22 cents a litre. I've got people writing to me and telling me they've received notices from their electricity supplier that the cost of power to their home will increase by 23%. That's from tomorrow. So where do they fit into this so-called summit? Because if it's about jobs and employment, I speak each Thursday here to Daniel Wild from the Institute of Public Affairs. They've done a splendid analysis of the economic and the employment consequences of net zero emissions. And they're telling us that Australia, if we're going to, which the Greens and the Teals want, cancel coal and gas and oil, will forego almost 500,000 jobs in regional Queensland and New South Wales. Now, if this summit is about jobs, how is that reality being addressed?
Well, Alan, a lot of the conversation over the next couple of days is not going to be around that. I'll be upfront about that. It's not going to be around that. It's going to be around other issues. But the fact is, you're right. Without that energy power guarantee, we're not going to have jobs. And this is about, what the government is wanting to do over the next couple of days is try to put together an agenda for the next 3 years, essentially. But there is not much conversation around where we are now when it comes to power and energy. The conversation is around sort of down the track, what do we look like in 2030 and 40? And we do have big issues now. I think, one of my staff very eloquently put it today in an interview that we are, a lot of businesses are about to roll into hell. When it comes to energy and power prices.
But you see, you've got big business.
And we need to focus on it.
I know, big business are going to be there tomorrow. They've got into bed on this net zero emissions stuff and don't seem to be asking any questions. I mean, the ANZ Bank Chairman, Paul O'Sullivan, whom you know and I barely know, says climate change is a significant business opportunity. Hello? What the hell does he mean? I mean, is there a political agenda here that the Prime Minister and the Treasurer want to make sure this is not written off as a pointless and costly stunt? So what will it have to achieve to prevent that conclusion?
It's a really good question, Alan. There's obviously a lot of scepticism around what will be achieved, and I think it's right for people to be sceptical around what it will achieve. But we do have hopes that it does have outcomes around agreements that we need to reskill Australia for the jobs of now and the future, that we need to grow the country to fill the huge skills and labour gaps that we have now. That's the important thing. Now, what policy outcomes come out of this in the end is really going to be up to the government. They're going to hear a lot of voices over the next 2 days. They have to make some conclusions. They are the government. They make the decisions, and they will be and need to be and should be held to account on the decisions they make.
See, for example,